On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
I think people say it like, if they've got cheated on multiple times or if they've seen people getting cheated on multiple times. So they kind of just come up with these tagline phrases, but that's not law. That's not like a rule that once you do something, you're just going to do it forever. That's like saying if someone used to eat meat and now they're a vegetarian, that they have to go back. Like, you can change your lifestyle, you can change things that you do, and it can be permanent. I
Yeah,
mean,
anything is possible. That's not what we arguing, right? We're not talking about listen, we're not talking about what's possible. We're talking about what we see in everyday regular life, right?
you're talking
We're
about what's
talking about
possible.
reality. Reality. The reality is that if a person has been cheating or a chick has been for the streets for her entire life, and then she gets to the age of 50, what makes you think that she's going to have any different behavior once she gets past 50? You telling me that people are becoming bodybuilders after the age of 50 on a regular basis? Because what happens is, let me tell you what I see, right? I see the effects of whatever it you do when you were younger start to manifest itself much more pronounced when you get older, right? When you see old people, let's just say 70s, upper 70s, 80s and above, you usually see the difference between two different lifestyles. You'll see either somebody that's super duper productive and fit and whatever it is that they live in their life, they can move around without any kind of help or whatever. And then you see the person that's just they need help, they need a cane, they need whatever. But it's usually no middle road in there. Either you all the way on one side or you all the way on the other side. And what happens is the things that you do, it's the same thing when it comes to money. It's literally the same thing. What happens is whatever the habits are which that you developed earlier in life becomes much more pronounced as you get older. Usually there's people that's extremely poor when they're older and they need the help of their kids, or they getting by on social security or whatever it is that is, right? Or you see people that's thriving, like they are really, really winning in life at an extreme level. But you don't see a middle road when you get older. You just see the habits or the manifestation of all the things that you've been doing earlier in your life, and it just becomes much more pronounced. I don't see people switching over from one side to the next, right? When you see people that are like, for example, I'll give you another example. People that are sick or people that wind up getting diabetic, either you gonna change or you gonna make that adjustment, or like when people start getting, and I hate to use this example, when people start losing legs and stuff, they just continue to lose different limbs and stuff over the time. Like they don't, most people do not evolve and they do not change and they do not start to adopt bad habits. You see them still drinking that Coca-Cola, right? Don't matter what nobody say to them, they still gonna get that Coca-Cola and they still gonna drink all of that sugar and they still gonna do all of that different stuff. And it doesn't change. It does not. A gambler is always going to be a gambler. Even when they go to Gamblers Anonymous, they make you say and acknowledge the fact that you're a gambler because it's always inherently in you, and it's almost like a crackhead. It's hard to give it up.
Well, but addictions are different than just,
That's a habit. It's
you have.
literally a habit.
I understand that, but like the time you brush your teeth in the morning is not the same as a gambling addiction or an addiction to drugs or something like that.
It
It's just
is.
not the same.
How is it different?
Because if you start brushing your teeth 4 hours later or 2 hours earlier, it's not going to have the same physical and psychological effects as an actual addiction such as gambling or drugs or alcohol or something like that.
I don't see people making a leap or evolving and changing in any dramatic way, shape, or form, or breaking any kind of habit once they get past a certain age. As a matter of fact, they become more stern and they say, you can't tell me nothing. Who is you?
I think it goes back kind of to what I said in my answer, because I get what you're saying. Like, as you get older, it becomes less likely or harder for a lot of people, which is what I brought up earlier. The longer you've been doing something, the harder it may be to break out of that habit. But like, we don't want to conflate like a daily just habit with like a physical or psychological dependency on a substance or gambling or anything like that.
Can I argue something just really quickly for a case point? Okay, you said that it's not a habit, but actually it is. A lot of people,
I didn't I didn't say, I said that it's just not the same, like a daily habit, like what time you eat breakfast is not the same as a gambling addiction. That's what I was saying.
But I would argue that it kind of is, because when you get into the habit of, let's say, a person who drinks, if they're used to taking that drink every morning when they wake up and they stop, no matter what the effect is, no matter if the person goes through withdrawals or not, like you're saying, if you brush your teeth, you're not going to go through withdrawals from not brushing your teeth. With the alcohol, you will. No matter the effect, it's still a habit. So that's what I was saying.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of
Go ahead, Ivy. I was about to ask you too. What are
sorry.
your thoughts about it?
I don't think it's never too late to break a habit, because that's basically saying that the alcoholic can never become sober or any of that nature. Of course, the older we get, we're more conditioned, so it's harder to break that habit. But I can't say, I mean, I haven't seen it, but I would hope people would break these bad habits that's going on. So I can't speak on, oh, I've seen a man or a woman break a habit at 50 or 60, but I mean, no, that's wrong. Some of my clients, they live paycheck to paycheck, and then they break in that habit like 55, knowing that they're not able to retire at 62 because of their spending, or realizing that they don't have enough saved up. So I have seen people break a certain habit that they were conditioned, or they don't think it's very important. So on that side, but I would hope people believe that you can break a habit at any age. I think I'm just gonna go based on that.
It's kind of interesting right there. Kind of interesting, man. So Anton says that after certain, go ahead, Anton.
Why do they say once a cheater, always a cheater?
Good point.
I'm just curious.
I don't know.
Where did
I
that
don't
saying
believe
come
that
from?
that's true. So
I don't think
I'm
that's
just
true.
wondering.
I don't think that's true.
Where did that come
saying-
from? No, I'm just saying, I'm asking. I didn't say it was true or not. I said, where did it come from? Why do people say that?
I think people say it like, if they've got cheated on multiple times, or if they've seen people getting cheated on multiple times. So they kind of just come up with these tagline phrases, but that's not law. That's not like a rule that once you do something, you're just going to do it forever. That's like saying if someone used to eat meat and now they're a vegetarian, that they have to go back. Like, you can change your lifestyle. You can change things that you do, and it can be permanent.
Yeah, anything is possible. That's not what we're arguing, right? We're not talking about, listen, we're not talking about what's possible. We're talking about what we see in everyday regular life, right?
We're
talking about reality. The reality is that if a person has been cheating, or a chick has been for the streets for her entire life, and then she gets to the age of 50, what makes you think that she's going to have any different behavior once she gets past 50?